Okay. So let me just put another post saying we're starting.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'll just start. Okay. Good evening, everyone. With me here today is Joyce. Joyce Miles. I would just give you a bit of a bio. She's a wife, a mother, and grandmother, and an empowerment mentor for women. Joyce is a relationship specialist and purpose strategist with the gifts of empowering and equipping single and married women to thrive in their relationships and to pursue a life of purpose without the confusion and frustration. She is the founder of Winner Within Our Empowerment, supporting women where she coaches women to embrace their worthiness from the inside out. Joyce has a gift of not only encouraging women to win in their purpose, but to win in experiencing the relationship they desire and deserve. So I'm very happy today in our group Beauty Makers Academy to have with us Joyce, and she'll be speaking to us today on my marriage and my purpose. So, ladies, I want you to listen attentively to what Joyce have to say and share with us. If you have any questions, you can either ask or you let us know at the end of the program. So, over to you, Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for having me. And I'm happy to be able to come in and to share with you ladies. And I hope that it will help you in some kind of way. I'm just going to share a few tips just to help you and to give you some empowerment to equip you along your journey in marriage. Whether you're married or preparing for marriage, it can help whether you're single or whether you're married. But I hope this will help you. And we're just going to talk about marriage briefly and your purpose and how to allow them to blend together so that they can coexist in harmony, because it can, it can work for you. If you have the right strategy, if you have the right intentions. So with my marriage and my purpose, that has a lot of meaning to me. I am very passionate about relationships. I'm very passionate about marriage. I feel that marriage is an honor. And of course, your purpose as a woman, your purpose in life, your calling, and embracing those and bringing them together. So the first point that I wanted to share with you is, of course, when you focus on your marriage, okay? Being clear on what your marriage means to you. That's the number one step. What is your marriage? What is the meaning of marriage to you? What is the purpose of your marriage? Is your marriage where you want it to be? Is it what you desire it to be? Because we're all from different backgrounds. We were all raised differently. We're all, in different environments. So what does marriage mean to you? We all may have different meanings to what marriage really means to you. Okay. So if you are married, if you're a wife, what is your marriage to you? What does it really mean to you? Do you think about that on a daily basis? I know we can get so caught up in everyday life that you really forget, and you begin to go through the motions, and you can get caught up, and you can really lose, really thinking about what is my marriage? What is the purpose? What direction are we going together? So I really want to remind women and help them and encourage them to really focus on the meaning in your marriage. What does it mean to you? Because that's very important when you face challenges, when you're dealing with different situations, and for the two of you to be on one accord. Are you on one accord in your marriage and what your intention is together? Okay, so be clear on what your first point is, being clear on what your marriage means to you. Okay, and is it where you desire it to be? And of course, in a marriage, you're always growing, you're always evolving, you're always changing. You're going to go through different stages. I just celebrated my 23rd anniversary, and I just look back over the years, the stages that we have gone through, the stages that I have gone through since I got married. So it's always a growth process, and I always tell women, don't put so much pressure on yourself that everything has to be perfect. Okay, because you're always growing, you're always changing. Every day I learn something different. Every day i'm I have an aha moment, and I do, because I'm learning more about myself. I'm learning more about him and us coming together. So every day is a process. So always remember being clear on what your marriage means to you and allow yourself to go through the process. Okay. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that you think everything has to take place overnight and everything has to be perfect, because that is not reality and that is not life. But as long as you're striving for the same goals and you have the same intentions and you're on one accord, then you're going in the right direction. So that is the first step that I wanted to share with you. And the second one is something that I could talk about all day, every day, is knowing your worth. Okay. The key in your marriage and your purpose coming together is you have to know your worth. You have to know the value that you have within. Okay. And that comes from you knowing and believing that you are enough, that you are more than enough. Okay. In order for you to fulfill your purpose, you have to believe and understand that you are worthy to make an impact in the world. You are worthy of being an influence in your marriage. Okay. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are worthy, that you are valuable, and you are uniquely created to be you. Okay. You are not created to be like anybody else. You were designed to be you. We're all different. We all have a different role in life. Okay. So I don't like to just throw out a bunch of points. I want to give you a little bit of time to marinate on that. You are uniquely you. Okay, focus on who you are, focus on your gifts, focus on what you are gifted in, what you are called to do. There's no gift that is too small. There is no gift that is insignificant. There is no person on this earth that is insignificant. So if no one's ever told you, you are worthy. Okay, you are more than enough. And that has so much impact in your relationship, because that determines what you accept, what you decide to settle in. There's a difference between settling versus compromise. We know that we have to compromise in a marriage, okay? But settling is when you know that I am worthy of respect, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of honor. Okay, so you have to understand and really know your worth. Okay, don't wait on anyone else to tell you, don't wait on anyone else to validate you. When you were created, when you were born, you are worthy because of whose you are. I always say, know who you are and know whose you are. I know whose I am. God created me. Okay, so I know whose I am. He has already said that I am enough. Okay, he has already said that I am worthy. Okay, so we know that we need to be clear in our relationship so far on what we desire and what we deserve in our marriage, and we have to know our worth. And that's in anywhere where you are in this world, because we know that there is a world outside of our homes that we have to face, and we really have to be truly grounded in embracing our worth. So ladies, You are worthy. You are enough. You are not here to be like anyone else. You are not here to try to copy off of anyone else. What works for someone else may not work for you. What is for someone else may not be your path. You are created because you are here for a purpose. You are created to be who you are with all of your, whatever you may call it, your shortcomings that you may see as shortcomings, but I see it as your uniqueness, your greatness. Okay. So you possess greatness inside. So you have to really know that and understand that before you can build any type of firm foundation is knowing who you are. Yes, your husband is to love you, honor you, and respect you, but you cannot seek uh, value from that person. They cannot validate you. Okay. You have to believe it, and you have to love yourself from the inside out. It starts with you. Okay. Because if you wait on other people to tell you that you're worthy, you wait on someone else to tell you that you are valuable and loved, you may be waiting quite a while. Okay. Even with my husband, yes, I believe that our marriage is blessed, and I'm blessed to have him. He's blessed to have me, but I cannot he cannot validate me. He cannot make me love myself. I have to believe in myself. I have to love me, and I have to understand who I am in order to be able to be an asset, in order to be the light in the influence in my marriage. It's the two of you coming together and building each other up. Okay. So our second point for the day is to really understand that you are worthy. Okay. You are more than enough. Okay. So the third step is your role. What is your role in your marriage? Do you have a clear understanding of what your role is in your marriage? And again, that's another thing that has to do with the different backgrounds and environments that we come from. It's not for me to tell you what your role is, but it is for me to remind you that you do have a role and be clear in your role. Okay. And that comes from you having an understanding between you and your spouse. What is your role in your marriage? You have to know, what is my place in this marriage? What am I here for? Why are we together? What is my role in this relationship? And that's all about, setting boundaries. And it does require, of course, communication amongst the two of you. You have to be in constant communication. Okay. You have to have an understanding between the two of you. Okay. So it's so important. Communication is everything. And I will tell anyone that is married, communication in your marriage is everything, because that impacts your marriage, and it impacts you going out into the world and fulfilling your purpose. Okay. Wherever your purpose is, your purpose may be in the household as a mother. You may be a stay-at-home mom. My role, my purpose is to be the best mother that I can be, for example. That may be, and that is amazing. Okay. Never underestimate what your role is, what your purpose is. So it's very important for you. These are things that you may want to think about. What is your role in your marriage? What is the understanding? If you don't have an understanding, it's never too late. It's never too late to sit down and talk. My husband and I, we set aside time where we sit down and say, okay, we need to talk. Whether it's and it does not have to be an issue that's going on. It's time for us to talk. Let's have a conversation. Okay. Because you have to communicate, you have to talk so that you can resolve any issues that may be hidden, any issues that may be going on that you may not even be aware of. And that's very important with your role, because sometimes when you sit down and have those conversations, at least from my experience, you can be really surprised what may be going on in their mind, what's going on. So it's very important that you communicate with each other and to understand what you expect from them and what they are expecting from you, because that can be a very big factor in your marriage. And like I said, whether you're single, whether you're preparing for marriage, or whether you're married, because you can always prepare. Okay, there's never been anything wrong with preparing. It's very good. It is very uh, important that you prepare. And like I said, whether you're married, you've been 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever you are in your marriage, it's never too late for a turnaround. Don't just close the door and say it's too late. It's done. We've been married this long, we might as well just keep it the way it is. It is never too late. It is never, and I can't stress that enough. So be in communication, be bold, in your relationship, because sometimes, in your men are not always the ones that may want to talk. They may not always be the big communicator. It just depends on the type of relationship you have. Be bold enough to say, hey, let's talk, let's chat. It can be at home, it can be at a restaurant. Just throwing out some ideas. Let's go sit in the park. My husband and I have gone to the park. Let's go have dinner and let's have a chat. Okay. Like today, I'm even planning, okay, when my husband gets home, when he's off, we need to have a chat. Okay. So maybe we might go to dinner and let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. Okay. And I really do feel like that when you position yourself and you put forth the effort that you're supposed to, things will begin to turn around in your favor. So remember to understand and be clear in the role in your relationship, what you expect of him and what he expects of you. That is very important. And that will really make your relationship, your communication really strong. Okay. So that's something to think about. Just set aside time to communicate with each other and have a clear understanding moving forward. So you don't have any surprises. We don't want any surprises in our marriage because I do think that, that has happened. So we don't want that. So be clear on what you want. I'm just recapping on what your marriage means and what it means to you. Knowing your worth and embracing your worth, and understanding and being clear on your role in your marriage as the wife. Okay. And the fourth point is your purpose. Okay. What is your purpose? Do you know your purpose? And if you don't know right now, that is okay, because we know we're always growing, we're always evolving. Every day we're taking steps, okay? Because every day I learn something new about myself. Every day I get more and more clear. I get more clarity. What I thought I knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have a clue. Okay, so every day it is growth. The more that whatever you use to for your knowledge and to gain understanding, whether it's prayer, whether it's reading, whether it's whatever works for you, whether you have people in your life that you can talk to. It's always good to have someone in a position that is sincere. I always say that, sincerely wants to see you grow, who sincerely wants to see you elevate in life and go to that next level. It's always good to have at least one person that you can go to, a mentor, a friend, someone that has that thought, the same thoughts of you, in moving into purpose and living a life that is purpose filled, someone that is in agreement. But whatever you use, whatever you go to, it is very important to understand that every day you're growing. So that's another thing to remember. Do not beat yourself up because you don't have it all figured out. Okay. We're growing every day. Okay. I have had an experience on my entrepreneur journey every day, and I literally mean that. Every day I have an aha moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you God for this, because it's growth, and it's all about maturing. It's all about listening. Sometimes we just need to be still and just listen. Okay, I've learned sometimes I just need to listen and stop trying to move so quickly. Just listen. Okay, so every day is a new step of clarity. Every day you're taking a step. Okay, so your purpose. Okay, and I do think your purpose is a lifelong, because we evolve. Okay, your purpose in this season may be different in another season in your. Okay, so that changes. So remember that. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I'm just sharing things that I have had to learn along this path. When I thought I had it all, when I thought I knew it all, or when I thought I had to know it all. But I've learned that the more I listen, the more that I pray, the more that I read, the more that I connect with other like-minded people. This is a lifelong journey, and it can be very fulfilling. Okay, and I do have to say that, and it can be very challenging at times. It can be frustrating. We're just human. Okay, it can be frustrating because we have desires. We have things that we want in life, and sometimes it may not be exactly in alignment with what we're truly called to do. Okay. And some things come fast, some things take time. Okay. Because we all have to mature. And just remember, the beautiful thing about this is that every day I'm gaining wisdom and knowledge that I can share with others. That's what's so beautiful about this. Because we got to remember, it's not all about us, it's
Mm,
all about what we're going to contribute to the world. Remember, you are the light. Your
mm,
purpose is allowing you to be the light wherever you are planted in this season. If you're a stay-at-home mom, do not underestimate the influence that you have. Do not underestimate what you are providing, what your presence, what your being contributes to the lives of your children. I've been in the corporate world. I've been a stay-at-home mom, and
mm,
the influence and the impact that you have on your children cannot be replaced. Because I hear people say, oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. There's no such thing as just a stay-at-home mom. You are impacting the lives of of other human beings. You're impacting them, you're planting the seeds, and you're helping them to grow so they can go out into the world. So don't ever underestimate your purpose,
mm,
uh, and where you are right now, because you are where you are for a reason. Whether it's
mm,
where you want to be, you are
mm,
there for a reason, and you are serving a purpose. So every day that you wake up, you have a purpose in life. Okay.
mm,
So, all of these things, your marriage, and we're talking about marriage and how this ties into your purpose, because you want to be sure that you have peace in your home. You want to be sure, and this is how it leads to marriage and purpose coming together, because you want to have a peaceful home. You don't want chaos. You can't operate fully in your purpose if there's chaos in your personal life. That just does not, because that's going to lead to burnout. That's going to lead to frustration. That's going to lead to you quitting. That's going to lead to you getting stuck. That's going to lead to you going and taking some steps backwards. So that is why marriage and purpose, that's why together, that's why it's so important that the two of them are together, that you are intentional in both so that they can flow. That's how your spouse and your home life all come together, because when you go out into the world, or whether you're in your home, wherever you're called to be, you want them to flow together. Okay, so that you can fully be at 110% wherever you're called to be. And I truly do believe that they can flow together. You can win in your life, and you'll hear me say that. You can win in your life, your personal life, and you can win in your relationship, and they can flow together. And I know that because I'm living it. So it is possible. Yes, you may have to make some changes. Yes, you may have to make some adjustments. You may have to be more intentional in your life, but they can flow together, because I don't believe that God honors anything, or he gives you anything that will not go together in harmony. Marriage is an honor, your purpose is an honor, and yes, they can flow together, and they can flow together beautifully. So it's so important that you really begin to think about, what is your purpose? What is it that you really truly love to do? What is it that's inside of you that just, that's just fuels that fire? What is it that you're called to do? What are you passionate about? What do you do that you could do without anyone paying you, anyone giving you any type of applause? What is it that really sets your soul on fire? Okay. And sometimes you may need to sit down at night and really just jot down some things. What is it that you really truly do naturally, that you love to do, that you're passionate about? And that's when you really begin to discover what it is that you're called to do, what you're gifted in, and what your purpose may be, and begin to take those steps in that direction. Okay.
mm, mm,
And when you discover those things, how can you start moving towards that? Okay. What is it? Do you like to cook? Are you the best cook ever? Are you the one that everyone comes to when they need something organized? Are you the one that people come to for wisdom? Are you the one that people come to for love, for encouragement? What is it that you truly do, that you're passionate about? And always remember, nothing is too small. Nothing is invaluable. Okay. Nothing that you contribute to this world is any less than anyone else. Okay. So don't think because you're not on a big stage and it's bright lights that your purpose is any less than anyone else. So remember that.
mm,
Okay. And I'm really speaking on that because I speak with a lot of stay-at-home moms. And I'm very passionate about them really understanding and embracing uh, the gifts and the presence and the purpose that they really, really, really uh, give, and what they share and what they hold, and the importance that they have and the value that they have. So just remember, and it goes back to, don't pay attention to what everyone else is doing. Okay. Focus. When I really learned to focus on me and what God has called me to do, things began to change. My journey began to change. Things
Mm.
began to come into perspective for me. So I always say, did I lose you? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I think I lose. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry about but yes, really embrace your purpose and really be intentional about pursuing your purpose in life. Okay. And remember that it is a journey, it is a process. So don't beat yourself up about it. Okay. And the fifth step I wanted to share with you is maintaining the balance between your marriage and pursuing your calling, your purpose in life. Okay. That is the biggest, one of the biggest challenges I think that a lot of women face. I hear so many successful women. Some of you share that you feel guilty, okay, about pursuing your calling.
Mm.
Oh, I feel bad. It just depends on what you're called to do. I feel bad about pursuing something that I want for me. They feel that it's selfish. They feel guilty. Uh, I don't want you to feel guilty about pursuing your passion, okay, because there is a healthy balance. Okay, you can be available at home, you can be available, and some of us are mothers who are married. You can be available for your children, and you can have uh, your calling and your passion in pursuing that. It's just all about you being intentional. It's all about you setting boundaries and being organized. Okay, you do have to be organizing your life. I don't know, in my life, I know I sit down sometimes. These are just a few things that I do, and I have to plan out my day. Now, of course, there are things that come up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm off my schedule a little bit. But as long as you have a plan, something, goals, or something set out in your everyday life, that will begin to get you into a place of being balanced and making sure that your spouse is not neglected. Because I think that's a major issue. Is sometimes we can get caught up in success, we can get caught up in pursuing our calling, that we're neglecting things at home, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, because then what happens? Then the marriage, the relationship, there's issues in the marriage, and then it's just a domino effect. So you can, it may sound simple, but you can start with simply planning out your day. And it's okay. There's another thing, if you have to make adjustments. I had planned out my day and like, oh my gosh, I'm an hour off. That I said I was going to do this at 10 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. I haven't gotten it done. Just having a guideline and being willing to adjust and understanding, things happen. Okay. The children, your child may fall and scrape their knee, so that may require your attention, or your baby. I know I have a toddler. She may just not be having a good day, or she may just want to have mommy to herself. So it's so important that you have balance, that you're able to adjust, and that you have goals, and that you also set boundaries. I know in my household, my children, I also have teenagers. They know what I do. So it's a family thing. They know what mommy does, and we talk. And that's another thing, communicating with your children. They understand even now. Mother is uh, right now, she's speaking. So right now we need to be a little quiet and give her that time. It's just having an understanding. So they know that. And it's just being on one accord. The whole house can be on one accord and setting boundaries. But I don't want you to feel guilty. Don't ever feel guilty about pursuing what God has placed within you. Okay, there is a healthy balance between it all. Simple things as date night with your husband. Okay, that's giving them the attention that they need. Just making sure that everyone gets the attention that they need. The household, you may have a day where you're just, okay, this is a day that I'm going to do some chores. Okay, this is the day I'm going to run errands. This is the day today that I'm going to focus on my business. This is the day that I'm going to focus on my ministry. And if you're working outside of the home, you're a career woman. Okay, so that means you need to have a schedule for when you come home. Simple things. This may sound simple, but simple things can come together and create create organization for your life. It can create peace in your home. Meal prepping. These are all things that help you, because when you come home, you may be tired. You may not feel like cooking. And we know sometimes that can cause a conflict in marriages. These things may seem small, but they can be very big in some marriages, in some relationships. So meal prepping. I learned to prep meals at night. And okay, this is what, when we come home, all I have to do is put this in the oven. Okay. And after dinner, just being organized, communicating, and everyone working together so that you can maintain that balance, so that you can pursue your career, you can pursue your ministry, you can pursue your calling, wherever it may be, without there being confusion, without there being chaos in your home. Okay. And every day, try something different. If it's not working, you can also, try something different, and just find what works for you. And I always tell my ladies, don't try to mirror anyone else's relationship. Don't try to mirror everything that they do, because it may not work. Your husband's personality, my personality, your personality, everyone is different. Everyone was raised different. What may work for them may not work for you. So you have to find what works for you and your household. Everyone's household is different. I have a toddler and teenagers. Okay. So that means I have a little bit more help. Okay. So what works for you, you may have a toddler. Okay. So they're not as independent. So you have to find what works for you. And it still goes back to your individual life, and you focusing on what works for your family, so that you can pursue your purpose comfortably and be efficient where you are planted, and you can be fully available where you need to be, because some of our purposes may call for us to travel. You may be at a point in your purpose where you have to travel. So what happens then? If someone were to call you right now, I need you to speak here, I need you to be here, and you decide that you're going to take this opportunity. Okay, what happens at home? Okay, what is going to happen at home? Have you communicated with your spouse? Are you all already on one accord, so you're prepared in case this happens? What if you get called? Oh, I need you to be here. So you have to be ready. You prepare your home so you can be ready. Okay. It may be you going live. I need you guys to give me some space for an hour. So whatever it may be, what works for your family. That's why it's so important that your marriage, and it's so important that communication in your home is in peace, and that you are organized and you're communicating with one another, so that all of you can be on one accord. Because in my household, it's a family affair. We're all supporting each other, and we're all growing together, and we have an understanding. Okay, so this is the time for you to prepare for greatness, for you to prepare to do great things. And remember, it's never too late. You can say right now, today, okay, it's time to have a family meeting. Okay, let's set a date. When can we sit down and have a meeting? Let's talk about some things. Communicate what you're doing. Communicate what you are passionate about. I share with my family, with my husband, what I'm passionate about, what I want to do. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. I need your support. Okay. And if they respect you, love you, and honor you, they'll honor what you are called to do. They'll honor and respect and be passionate along with you. Okay. So it's all about teamwork. Okay. And the last and final point is I just want to reiterate you having harmony. And I just want you to focus on that word harmony and what it means to you. When I think of harmony, I think of positivity, I think of peace. It just gives me a good feeling, because when things are flowing in harmony, that means they're flowing together. Okay, peacefully, and they're working together. Okay, and they're flowing together, they're peacefully coming together, and it gives me a good feeling. It gives me almost a sense of excitement when I hear the word harmony, because it's so important that your role as a wife and your purpose come together. And I really truly believe that it is possible for you to have it all. Some people may say, you've heard people say, you can't have it all. You can't have it all in life. I don't believe that. I'm not saying everything in life will be perfect. I'm not saying you won't have challenges, but you can have it all. Okay. You can have it all if you believe for it and you put in the work. Okay. And you set your life up in that way. So today, right now, make up in your mind, because what you believe is what you shall receive, or that is what you're going to bring into your life. If you truly believe, because I truly believe in my heart that I can have it all. I truly believe that God honors my marriage. I truly believe that He gave me a purpose. So why would He allow the two to have conflict? Okay, that just doesn't go together. But it still requires me to be intentional. It still requires me to take action. It still requires me to be strategic in my life and intentional in every area of my life. Okay, it can happen. If you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, give yourself some me time. Okay, you may need to take a walk, or listen to some music, read a book, or just have some quiet time. I do it quite often. I just need some time to, regroup. Okay, so it's all about you, because at the end of the day, as a wife, and if you're a mother, it really, the mother, in my opinion, this is my opinion, she is a center of the home. She does set the tone in the home. The mother, the wife, she does. She is the one that can really be an influence in the home. It does not mean that you're over your spouse. I'm not saying that, but the wife has a lot of influence in the home. Okay, you have a lot of influence with your children and the way things go in your home. So I want you to really focus on the word harmony in your life, creating harmony. And that goes along with you being organized. That goes along. I keep using these words. I'm throwing them out there. Intention, strategic, and really believing and being confident that God desires the best for you, and you can have it all. When I say you can win in life and love, I'm not just saying that. I truly believe that you can have a marriage that is blessed. You can have a that is healthy. You can have a marriage that is happy and fulfilling, along with a purpose. Okay. It just all begins with you setting the intentions and you communicate. So if I just want to leave you with three things today that you can leave with today to remember right now where you are, whatever changes you want to see, whatever turnaround you need. Remember to communicate. Communication, I will always tell you, is everything. I can't stress it enough. Communication is everything with your spouse, with your children. Communication is key. Okay, being intentional. Everything that you do, you should have an intent. You should have a goal in mind. Okay, have a goal. It's no goal. There's no intention that is too small. From preparing dinner, from the moment you get up until you go to bed at night, be intentional in your everyday life. Have a goal. The reason I'm doing this is because this will lead to this. Okay, and always remember your worth. Okay, knowing your worth, embracing your value. Okay, knowing that you are worthy of being an influence in this world, of being an influence in your marriage, being an influence in your household. Yes, you are worthy. Okay, those are the three things that I wanted to leave you with today. I hope this has helped. I hope this has helped you in some kind of way with you having a marriage that is loving and respectful of you and honorable to you, and the same, to your spouse, for the both of you, and your purpose, and those two flowing together in harmony. It starts with simple steps and it can lead to great things, to big things. Okay, just taking simple steps in your household. It starts at home and it starts really with you. Okay, it starts with you as a wife, and it starts with you as a person, and really knowing, I'm just going to leave with you with this, knowing who you are in this world and knowing whose you are. When you embrace those things and know who you are and know whose you are, that's when it really begins to fall into place. So I hope that has helped.
Yes.
Um,
It has helped greatly. I will just kind of recap some of the things you've said.
okay,
Um, and I will see if I have any question from what you've written
okay.
down.
Let me know.
Okay, you said we should be clear about what our marriage means to us. Let me now speak to myself. I should be clear about what my marriage means to me. What's my marriage? What do I want? What do I desire to see in my marriage? Where do I desire my marriage to get to? Okay. And you said something about we should not be so hard on ourselves if things are not that perfect yet in our marriage. We should believe that every day is a process, and so we should embrace each day as it comes and keep learning. We should keep learning about our spouse. It's very important. Then you said the second thing was it's important for us to know our worth. We should believe in ourselves. We should know that we are enough. We can be wherever God wants us to be. That no matter what settings we are in right now, either as a stay-at-home mom, either as a corporate person or in business, we should know that whatever we are doing, we are making an impact there and we are valuable. So if you carry that sense of you knowing your worth, you wouldn't necessarily expect your husband at all times to validate that. You should carry that sense of worth. And then if he validates or not, you feel good about yourself, and that will also help you feel good about him. On that note, sincerely, I noticed that sometimes when we as a woman, we don't know our worth and our husband is not giving us that commendation that we want, we can be so angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you
Exactly.
see me? I would say sometimes I do that because sometimes after dressing up and we're going out, I'm like, can't you look at me and tell me I look good? Did you see me? You know?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, do I have to say anything? You know, sometimes men can be funny. So it's
Yes.
important as a woman, you feel good about yourself, you know your worth, you know you're enough, you know you're valuable. And then the third one, he said it's important for us to know our role in our marriage. I really, really like that point. The reason being that so many times we all have expectations in life. And if you don't know what the other person is expecting, you may be thinking you're actually making the person happy and you're not. Because
Exactly.
sometimes he will say things like, why are you annoyed? I don't know what I've done, but I'm expecting something. And you could see clearly that he's being sincere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that you communicate to each other your expectations. This is what makes me happy. This is what I'm expecting you to do. Like as I'm on this call today, I would have expected you to send me a text and say, "Oh, well done on this thing." But it's like, "Oh, okay, is it today? Oh, I thought it was here tomorrow." You know,
Yeah.
just I'm saying. So it's important that you know what, I would appreciate if you can always tell me well done, or if you can always say this to me. Or I know of a couple, I've once heard of a couple where the
Uh-huh.
husband said to my face and said, oh my god, I was telling the husband, I said, your wife has just made a post on Facebook. He said, oh my god, let me quickly go and like the post, because if I don't, I'm in trouble, because she has told the husband, immediately a post goes on Facebook for me, you must like it. So, James, so it may sound funny, but little things like this causes
Yes,
issues
it
in
does.
marriage. So you would think he
It can.
knows what you want. So it's important you tell him this is what I want.
This
You
is
know, this is my expectation in this marriage. I want you as my wife to support me in this area. I want you as my husband to support me in this area. But of course, as we're putting our expectation on our spouse, we should be realistic as well, because the only person that can
yeah.
actually satisfy in all things is God. And I must say that in most cases, women, we are not realistic sometimes. We
Yes, and that's
Many
true.
women go into marriage with this mindset of, now I'm married, I have a God who do everything for me. No,
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be. They're
Yes.
human beings as well, and they get pressurized as well. You know, they have their own moments. Okay, let me give instances. Sometimes as a woman, I don't know if it is peculiar to you, you always want to be around them sometimes. And he's like, can I have my 5 minute space to just think? And you're like, but
Yes.
we're married. No, I know we're married, but I just need my 5 minute space to think.
Oh,
You know,
face.
sometimes men love to withdraw to themselves, you know. But sometimes, women, we want to chat all the time. So
Yes.
so it's
Yes.
always
Yes.
important to have a balance in that as well. So that's what
Yes.
I noticed on that. Then the fourth point, you said it's important for us to understand our purpose. And sincerely, you said something which I really, really agree with. You said because every day we're growing. You know, so many times we get so hard on ourselves. You're like, I thought I had it all figured out. What is going on? Things are changing. No, there's nothing wrong with you. We go from stages to stages.
You
So once
do.
God says that stage is over, you're moving on to the next stage. You embrace the new stage. You forget about the
Yeah.
whole stage and go ahead. But sometimes we hold on to a particular season, a particular stage, and we're like, no.
Yeah.
If God is not telling you to move on, you just stay there. But one thing I've realized is that when you stick to a season that God is telling you to move away from, if you don't move away, you just keep getting insults, struggle in that
Oh,
season. Things
yes.
become so hard. You just wonder, but it was working well in this season. What's happening? It's because the season is over. God has already said it's over. So
So
our
true.
purpose is always evolving. So it's important for us that we should embrace that fact. That's something I'm learning myself. We stick to
Oh,
things
it
too
is.
much. And then the fifth one he said was, it's important for us to maintain a balance between our marriage and our calling. That's very important because being involved in the church ministry, involved in career, so many things will be beckoning to you. But it's important to always take time to ask ourselves, have I given too much to my calling? Am I giving less attention to the marriage? And then quickly make a balance straight away. Everything must be balanced. It's very important as well. And then the last one you said was, it's important to reflect on the word harmony. What do you think about harmony?
Mhm.
Harmony is peace, because if those two areas are well balanced, definitely there will be harmony in our marriage. So that's really, and then you gave us three things to reflect on, that whatever we see in our marriage that we want to change, it's important to first communicate it. You must let your spouse know that I think we should do something about this, and then we should be intentional with whatever we're doing. And then lastly, we should never forget our worth. So I think I've done a good recap. I'm a good
You
student.
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've really learned a lot, and I believe that the ladies watching this video as well would have learned a lot of things as well. And I must say, thank you so much. Since we don't have anyone online at the moment, so we'll not be able to take
I,
any. Sorry?
I said I thank you for allowing
Okay.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I've learned a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Thank you very, very much. Is there any other thing you want to say?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope this once again. I hope this encourages someone and helps someone in their marriage. And just remember that it's a process. I've had to learn myself through this journey. It is a process of growth, and you can't fail because you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining wisdom and understanding every day about yourself, about your life, about the world itself. So you can't lose on this journey. Okay, and it's definitely a process that you have to allow God to allow his timing. Remember to allow his timing, because we get so caught up in what we desire, but it's all about what he desires for us. Okay, so it's just important to remember that. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't think that you're a failure because it's not going the way that you think, because you're actually on the right path. It's a
Hmm.
process of growth, and in order for you to grow, you have to go through challenges. You have to learn. You have to learn about yourself. You have to learn, and so that you are prepared for that next season, that next stage. So just remember that. And I just thank
Um,
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. Let me just stop the recording for now.